Boom.
Right.
Yo.
How we doing?
I'm good, mate. You?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. So this evening's is sponsored by 7-Up Free.
Nice. I like. I haven't got any sponsorship here. Foxtrot. There we go. Got a Foxtrot business card.
Nice.
Directions of use.
Hi, Nick. Hi, James. Thanks for
Even
joining.
all. Thanks for bearing with us last week, chaps. Unforeseen circumstances and all that. So good to be back.
Hi, Terry. Oi, oi, Tuesday crew, says Andy.
Oi, oi, oi. Good to be back to talk some more bollocks.
Right. I have a little thing to just confess here. I had a dream about the podcast. And
I had a dream.
Andy Bob was specifically in my dream. Right. Now, my dream was that Andy had set up like a, you know how there's like loads of Facebook groups like Cringe Soft.
Yeah.
That's popped up recently, and there's like loads of stuff like that. Andy had set up a we hate Mike group. Like genuinely, my dream. I don't know what that says about my personal psyche, but it was really disappointing because there were more members in it than like the main like UCAT group or whatever that's on there, and I was getting really really upset. And then I woke up and was like, oh.
Was that specifically aimed at you though, or was it just Mike's in general?
Not me. It was me specifically. There was like loads of pictures of the podcast and stuff, and like people had like done stuff to my face and like goatees and like horns and stuff like that. And but the thing that was really funny was it was specifically Andy that had set this up.
Just the main ringleader. We're gonna have to keep an eye on him, mate. We're gonna have to keep an eye on him.
Don't worry, Andy. There's no hard feelings. I know that you'd never do anything like that, but it did make me proper chuckle. Yeah. Nick said, but in your dream, did you get the address right? Probably not, mate. Probably not.
No. Yeah, I forgot to put it along the bottom of the screen.
Hi, Fresh Meat, Dale, Joe.
Fresh meat in.
Joe's come in with, I think it's a duck and a bit of lettuce.
No, I'm going to say duck and pak choy.
Pak choy? Huh?
I don't know.
It's a very posh emoji.
Yeah.
Eggplant is so last year. It's all about the pak choy now.
It's all about the pak choy. Yes, delicious.
Oh, blimey. You've got some new purchases. Do you want to show off?
Yes, mate. I did. November Foxtrot is live. Thanks for that laptop. You're only 3 minutes late. Useless. Yeah, just a couple little bits from comms. Obviously, I've got a new earpiece here, which I'm going to be using in conjunction with a new fist mic. I've got Rectivus fist mic. It's got some IP rating on there, so it's probably shower proof. And I'm certainly not going to go submerging it in a lake or anything. But feels really good quality. Really, really good quality. It's got a nice bit of weight to it as well, which I had a Bofang one. I bought it obviously because I've got Bofang radios. Bought the Bofang fist mic, and it felt it was like there's nothing inside it. Really lightweight, you know what I mean? But this feels like the cabling, connections, really feels quite robust. So I'm eager to get this tested out in the field for a couple of events and tugging it about and changing it from over to different bits of kit and stuff. But obviously, I bought that as a little shoulder mount fish mic. And obviously this new earpiece I've got here into the top, so I can keep this speaker silent, just literally use it as a mic. Or failing that, if I want to take the headset out, I can use it as a loudspeaker then. And in line with that, I stumbled across these little inner ear sort of like molded pieces. And if you can see that there, these are ultra comfy. And this cost me about $7.99. But the thing is, you get a set of 8. So you get 8 different types, different sizes that you can just plow through them till you find one that's nice and comfortable with your ear.
It did make me chuckle when you sent the picture and you got like.
Yeah, I mean, granted, yeah, I had
like, blimey, lads, how many ears are you planning on filling?
I mean, I ordered it, and when it arrived, I was like, what is that? And I opened it, I was like, oh, Christ, of course, yeah. And then it comes with like 8, you get like 2 varying sizes in large, I think 3 varying sizes in medium, and then a couple varying sizes in small. But yeah, just super comfortable. I mean, it sits in the ear. I mean, obviously, you got the audio tube, if you like, or the acoustic tubing that goes over the top of the ear. And that, rather than having that little, like the, where's my normal ones I use for the podcast? Like the normal like little earbud, we can easily fall out, can't it? Especially if you're out like fast walking in an event like I do. It just sits literally inside your ear, and it's proper solid. Once it's in, it can be a little bit fiddly when you first get them to put it in, but once it's in there, I mean, it's so comfortable, and you barely really feel like it's in. Obviously, you can still hear around your ambient sound and stuff like that, but it just directs that comms straight to where it needs to be. So yeah, happy with that.
Cool.
yeah, they were my little purchase from the Imperium event. Just looked at a couple of different bits and bobs, and I had my old TAC phone's finally given up the ghost after 6 years of £25 off eBay. She finally died. Very sad. So it's just sitting there now as it's for display purposes only now. So farewell TAC phone. Serve its purpose though. Can't complain.
Yeah.
You know, it's come unhooked from a webbing a couple of times, and I've kneed it and boosted it into a tree, and then it swung back up at me and gone, fucking hell. Grabbed hold of that. So yeah, no, it has been good. But yeah, sort of updated a bit of the comms kit now. So looking forward to trying this stuff out when I can.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, so what about yourself, mate? Anything?
I've not bought anything like sensible necessarily. So Preppers Shop UK had a load of the British self-heating ration packs.
You went for some, did you?
I bought 40, I believe, because, you know, there's no spend like a big spend. No, to be fair, they weren't that expensive, and I'm planning to take some of them in my hospital bag. So I don't know if I'll be allowed to use them in the hospital or not, but I don't know how I'm going to heat up my other MRE food that I'm taking with me. So, you know,
just pop it. I'm sure there'd be like a little bedside cupboard. You could just get it ready and just pop it in the cupboard, and then just keep an eye on it now and again.
It's got to be better than sitting on the floor with my gas burner, isn't it?
Yeah. yeah, sitting there with a hexi beam burner and a fire steel going.
Yeah. So yeah, I bought one of those. I bought 40 of those. So yeah, that was all right. I also bought. I'll just show you a little picture. I didn't get it off of eBay, but I bought this. So a little K-bar tactical bottle opener.
I like that.
Which was quite nice. It was another little present to myself off of Preppers Shop. It's not sponsored. It's just
I didn't see that on there. You've kept that super duper secret.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's basically there's like a £5 postage, isn't there? So I was like, oh well, I want to make like maximum use of the postage. So I also bought a £3 dental pick set as well from there, which I believe is new. I'm hoping it's new. So if anyone wants any amateur dentistry, let me know.
Fair play, mate. Oh, nice.
Yeah, so nothing overly sensible. I do need to invest in my comms a little bit more at some point, but to be honest with you, I'm not going to be playing until August now. So
I did have so I haven't opened it yet, but it did arrive today, and it was to go in conjunction with my my Woodland DPM PLC webbing set, and it's the Commander's Patrol Yoke, which is essentially like the assault vest. It's got the 2 zips either side, like breast pockets, but like it's like a waistcoat type thing, but it's the webbing patrol yoke. I believe that the most similar one to it would be like the JJ's one you can get in like the MTP, which is about 190 quid, but this was sort of £25 for it because it's the old Woodland DPM stuff. But yeah, really, I really enjoyed running the webbing at the weekend. It was really cool just to chuck a rig on and then just bug out, and when you get back to the fob whatnot, just ditch it and you're all free from any kit. Yeah, it's quite refreshing to do something different for a change. Yeah, enjoyed that. So
Andy has just sent me a link and said, sorry, Mike. Now, I can't open the link, so I don't know what he's posted, but I'm anticipating he's set up a Facebook group. That's the
see, you make a rod for your own back. That is a red rag to a bull.
I know, I can't find it. I'm going to have to dig that out later. But, right.
Evening, Charlie.
No Hi, Charlie. Sorry, Nick. Nick asked, I tried a fist mic and ear bit thing and didn't work. Can you do a link for yours, please?
Do you know what, Nick? I will do, mate, but I want to give it a go myself first. I mean, initially, I have tested it, obviously, in the comfort of my own home, and obviously all comms absolutely fine. I put the earpiece in, plugged it into the top of the fist mic there. There's a nice little weatherproof cover there. Plugged it all in, turn the mic on. You can get like you get the audio from when you first turn the Bofang on. I can't remember what she says now. Comes out with some old nonsense anyhow. But I could hear that quite clearly through it, and I've tried it obviously
Channel
locally.
mode. Channel mode.
Channel mode. Or if you do it in different languages, it's I'm not going to do that. Get in trouble. But anyhow, so yeah, I will try.
There goes our Asian.
Sorry about that. Terrible. So yeah, let me try it first, mate. I mean, I'll happily blast you a link over, but I don't want to put things up here yet until I've sort of had a go on it myself to make sure. But initially, like I said, first thoughts, mate. Yeah, I'm very happy with it. It's a solid old bit of kit. Do you know what I mean? For like 30, 37, 38 quid it was. I think I got it on Amazon, I think it was. But it's a Retevis fist mic, if that helps you at all. And I think it's an IP54 rating or something like that. Or IP4, I don't know. Yeah. but it's a shower-proof one. It's the write-ups on it showing various security platforms being used, outdoor events and things like that. So, we'll see. I'll give it a go. If it doesn't work, I'll send it back and get a refund and get something else. But first look, it seems to be okay. So yeah, I'm excited. That goes well. I don't know if you've seen that. I've got a throat mic. So I've ditched the booms now. The booms are gone. Ditched the booms, like the Bowman headsets. This, I used this at the at Black Rock 2, and this was fucking wicked. Perfect. Crystal clear. No problems with people hearing me. No problems hearing people through the old acoustic tube in there. Bit of cotton wool, odd. I did have the original earbud in that, so this has been changed since the events to one of these inner ear, sort of like bone-shaped dooblies. So I haven't tried them yet, but I mean, I could hear it perfectly well with the bud, but it was just, this is more comfortable in my eyes. So yeah, gonna give a thumbs up to the old Retevis throat mic. Ooh, that was all good. We hate Mike, no for Airsoft. Oh my god!
I'm genuinely impressed at the speed that Andy set this up.
Yeah, but like I said, he already had that, mate. He was just waiting for the seed to be planted. Mike's dream told me to do it. We hate Mike, no for Airsoft. You completely asked for that, mate, and I have no sympathy whatsoever for you.
That's fine. I'm joining. Right. Sorry. Someone in the chat, Dimitri, sent this to you. If I can find, oh god, hang on, I've got too many windows open now.
Just a picture of him doing that at me.
Oh, where's it gone? There we go. That's fun. How do I get past that screen? I don't have a Wish account.
Close it. Is this the Bowman? I'll tell you what. I think I know what is that the Bowfang Bluetooth? I've looked at them, and do you know what? I have been tempted to. It's the Bluetooth headset, isn't it, for the Bowfang?
Yeah.
Where you've essentially got that bit there. That bit there is essentially a Bluetooth send and receiver. Did you just blow me a kiss?
No, it was a Les. Sorry.
Right. Bit odd, not going to lie.
It's been a long time.
I glanced up at make sure this was in focus with the camera, and you just went, I was like, wow. Mike's got a penchant for Kenwood connectors.
I love them. I love that 2-pin.
Oh, baby. Yeah. So, yeah, it's essentially the end of that. Plugs into the Bowfang, and it's got a Bluetooth send and receive on it, and obviously you get the headset. I don't know how good they are. Could well be fine. Not a clue, mate. But yeah, I was tempted to give them a little go. Might be something in the future. Maybe Mike could buy one. Another little secret purchase of his. Quite good at that.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
The problem is I had to get rid of my Wish account because my home computer is linked to my work computer, and I was getting adverts for all sorts of things on Wish that you really don't want to pop up on your Wish. Now, I have no idea how these things popped up, but yeah.
Oh, no, of course you don't. Oh, no, I'm so honest. It's Mike. I'm sorry. Look at my face. Look at his innocent face. Why would I want to keep soon?
Moving on. This week, we're talking about wet weather and all things moist-ure.
Moist.
Sorry,
I
wrote that earlier and it proper made me chuckle, and I just wanted to say it out loud. So obviously with rain, rain affects morale, comfort. No, it doesn't work off your search history or Wish. I don't know what it is on Wish. For some reason, it just randomly finds stuff that you really don't want. Anyway, so yeah, it affects like accuracy of your BB guns, visibility. But we'll talk about clothes first. So boots and socks, we're not going to cover that again because we've covered that so many times. Right. Feel free to go back to episode 3 if you'd like to look about boots and socks. And all
I think it was aptly called feet, wasn't it? Yeah,
it was called feet. Yeah.
There we go.
So trousers and tops, we'll start there. So what do you wear, Lance, when it's raining for trousers and tops?
I'll be brutally honest with you, mate. I tend not to really wear waterproof trousers. I usually concentrate, if I have to, on I usually use an oversized Gore-Tex jacket, and by oversized, say I'd be an XL in a top or whatever. I'd get a double X. I've got a stain on my t-shirt there. How did you get there? Sorry. If I had my Gore-Tex jacket on, that wouldn't have happened. See? And yeah, digressing. So I get a double XL a Gore-Tex jacket, one I can chuck on over my rig. Do you know what I mean? Or if I've got a belt kit on, I can chuck it on over the top of it. Because if it's completely lashing down with rain, then you just want to get dry and chuck that on. It's something quick that you can just chuck on over the top, nice and big, still get to your bag, blah 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 blah, covers you up, The only thing I cover with my bottoms, the only thing I would use on my bottoms is a set of gaiters. Excel in your dreams, princess. Oh, you wait till I see you next, you bitch. Yeah, set of leg gaiters. That's the only thing I'd use trouser protective wise for like long grass, bits and bobs like that. And obviously with the knee pad as well. Knee pads always help because when you're taking the knee on patrol, you're up, you're down, blah, blah, blah. That it just after a while, it just starts to soak in. It gets down to your skin. Your knees get cold because they're soaking wet. But if you have knee protection, and that's one thing I did suffer with at the. Lucky enough, we didn't get any rain last weekend, but I did get for my Woodland DPM trousers, my combats, because they don't come with built-in knee pads. You can get like obviously the US Woodland stuff, but when I come back, I jumped on eBay, managed to find myself a set of British Army issue sniper knee pads, which get stitched onto your combats, all with the old part numbers and that on there still. Obviously, one's slightly more worn than the other, but I'm going to get a friend of mine's. His wife's a tailor, so she's going to stitch all these onto my Woodland DPM combat trousers with Soldier 95 Dubries. So I've got some little bit of knee protection there, and it's nice, durable. Feels good. So I've got them. Are
they just foam, or is it anything? Is it a special foam?
I mean, it's essentially, mate. I mean, I don't know what's inside it. It's essentially the same material as is used for the trouser, and then obviously it's got an oversized sort of stitched flap around the edge, which obviously will get stitched onto the trouser all the way around. And it's a nice, strong bit of foam on the inside. I mean, I'm going to guess at about 4 mil, maybe 5 mil thick. Yeah, I'd say a good 5 mil thick. Plus, obviously, you've got the material either side of it as well. So, okay, take it to about 7 or 8 mil. But yeah, it just feels like it's a nice, solid platform for kneeling down on. So I'll get them stitched onto the old trousers. Nice little find. So yeah. But yeah, bottoms, it just normally been leg gaiters. I don't tend to chuck on a set of waterproof bottoms and go like a full Gary Gore-Tex with top and bottoms covered. It'd just be leg gaiters and then concentrate more on the top half. Having a big jacket on something like a obviously Mike Brewer, he'd have like a medium jacket, I'd guess in. Even perhaps a small jacket for Mike. Whereas, you know, XL in your dreams.
Not Mike.
Not you, Mike, no.
Yeah, I was like, what do I say? Yes, I mean, I would agree on the leg gaiters. I mean, I don't generally tend to wear knee pads. I do need to look at them because I know, was it Octo we were crouching inside one of those little bunkers? The window always just be about there when you're kneeling down. So it's like you obviously want to sit there and aim.
Yeah.
Trying to do that while kneeling on the ground and it's full of BBs and you're like trying to shift the dirt around a little bit. It does sort of, does. Mate,
my Viper ones, for my MTP ones for like my sort of current loadout sort of thing, and obviously they've got the built-in knee pad. They're a fucking godsend, an absolute godsend to have them. And going from like using like before, like wearing like desert DPM bottoms with no, and I've tried using like the external knee pads. And don't get me wrong, if you can get on with them, then great. But I just find them a fucking ball ache. Do you know what I mean? Even the Black Hawk down, even the Black Hawk one I had, like Desert Tan one. I mean, after a while, the elastic, when you first get them brand new, it's all good. But after, if you keep using that elastic just goes. I mean, mine's just threadbare now, and it don't stay up. It always ends up around the side of your ankle when you're mooching about and that. And you go to take a knee, and it's like, well, it's just fucking pointless.
Yeah, you know what I mean? To pull the knee pad up so you can take the knee.
I wish you could get like a set of combats that's got like a Velcro web over the top of where the knee would be, that you could just get the bush it on, take it off when needed.
Can you imagine that in dry leaves?
Oh yeah. But perhaps maybe not have the sticky bit on the trouser. Maybe have that bit as the loop and not so much the hook, or something like that. Yeah, I just don't get on with like external. The only ones I probably would try is the old skate ones where it's like an actual elasticated like tube bandage with the pad built into it. That could probably well work. Something like that under the trouser.
No, fair enough. I mean, to be honest with you, trousers-wise, the only thing I ever really kind of normally factor in for wet weather is just have a second pair of trousers.
Exactly that. Wet and dry drills. That's the one.
Yeah. I mean, the game that springs to mind was our little game in Dormansland that we went to. That was proper wet in the morning. But yeah, by the afternoon, it all dried out. So... Gone again, have I? There we go. There legs wise, I don't know if I've I don't really kind of tend to bother with too much, to be honest. Top wise, however, I'll use that as a little segue. Is I generally tend to use sort of just a lightweight waterproof layer. I I can't fit the XMOD Gore-Tex nice little MTP jackets. I'd love to, but I've got a belly. So I went and bought this little beauty from Mountain Warehouse, which it's not in a multicam, but it's not too bad. And just wear that over whatever I'm wearing. It's fairly thin, lightweight.
Failing that, Mike. Poncho, mate. MTP ponchos.
Yep. So I have an MTP poncho. The only thing with that is that it's very hard, obviously, depending on how you wear it, to reach stuff. So I carry a poncho, and it generally tends to be when you want to kind of just sit down for a little while, or you're bedding down. Do you remember when we were at Longmore and it was peeing it down?
Yes.
And we were on, like, it wasn't stag, but we were just like having eyes on some building or whatever. So when we're standing there in the absolute pissing rain, then just whack the poncho over the top, and it provides a little bit of shelter.
Yeah,
but the problem is that if you wear a poncho all the time, I don't know about you, I find like the breathability really poor. You actually almost get just as wet under the poncho as you do over the top.
Well, even with the sides open, because obviously you can get your arms around it and wear it like proper sort of thingy. Oh, so I've not really noticed, but then to be fair, I haven't really had to wear it a great deal. I usually just cut about with if it's like NATO, like a Desert DPM XXL Gore-Tex jacket, just all big and just hanging down, just so it keeps everything dry. And that's tends to be nice and breathable then. And
it's just said if you play naked, you don't need to worry if it's raining or not.
That's a good shout. Yeah, absolutely can. Yeah, skin's waterproof. Beautiful. Love that. Yeah, fair play.
Another pair. Are we looking?
There's a guy for the knee pad straps to go through. That's a good shout, Dale. Yeah, good shout, mate. Yeah, fair one.
That's not a bad shout, actually.
A lot of people getting directed to your I Hate Mike webpage, buddy. Good. I'll check that out afterwards.
Oh, for fuck's sake. I won't ruin the surprise for everyone else, but feel free to go and have a look. Hi, Kenny, by the way.
But yeah, ponchos are a good shout. I mean, this is nice and lightweight. This can fit in a little utility pouch in your belt kit. I mean, it's nice and small. Obviously, you get like the 58 pattern, like the British issue ones. They're a bit bigger, bit more heavy duty. That's just like a Viper one I picked up, but that's a nice heavy duty. I think like the 58 PLCE ponchos, all good. Yeah, mate. Lots of options
would you carry a multicam one, or would you rather go with a different camo?
What, as a shelter or one I'm going to wait? I mean, it depends on the event, mate. I mean, obviously, a lot of events, like they say, they can be quite precious of sticking to camo rules, and you can be 1 minute it's dry and it's rain, next minute it's raining, but the only thing you've got is a black waterproof jacket, and yet you're up against Op 4 who are allowed to wear black. It makes it quite difficult. So, I mean, I've got jacket-wise, I've got a Woodland DPM Gore-Tex jacket, I've got a Desert DPM Gore-Tex jacket, which you can sort of pretty much get away with on NATO. I wouldn't be bothered by that. It's clearly, obviously, a NATO colour. And I've got an MTP poncho. The only thing I have got in MTP as a Gore-Tex is a pair of trousers, which, like I say, these are like brand new. I've never worn them because I don't wear them. So I picked them up nicely. I think I got them at the War and Peace revival pre-lockdown 2019, I'm guessing it's going to be.
Back in the day when we were allowed to go out.
Back when we were allowed to go out, yeah. But it won't be long, mate. Hopefully, we won't be long.
Yeah.
But yeah, from a jacket point of view, just a couple of different, depending on what I'm doing. If I'm Op 4, I can go with the Woodland DPM. If I'm NATO, I can go with the Desert DPM or the MTP. So, courses for horses, mate, really. And obviously what your budget is. I mean, you can pick up a perfectly serviceable Gore-Tex jacket on eBay, ex-British Army, 35, 40 quid. Stretch it to sort of 60 quid for the top and bottoms, perhaps. And nothing wrong with them. I'm not sure you can treat Gore-Tex.
No, so that was one of the questions in the chat. I've lost it now. There we go. Dimitri again. Any advice on where I can respray Gore-Tex jacket?
I mean, all I'm going to say is, mate, is I've got a Gore-Tex DPM bivvy bag, which I treat every year with Fabsil Gold with a spray can.
There's no reason I guess you didn't do the same thing, could you?
No, I'm guessing. I'm going to say I can't see why it wouldn't work, but then I'm not a Gore-Tex expert or anything like that. I know it works on my bivvy bag. I've never had any problems with that coming in, any water ingress through my bivvy bag into my sleeping bag when I've been on the deck. But then I haven't really put it to the test of sleeping just in my bivvy bag externally. I've always had a basher over the top of me, or it's been in a tent, or it's already had a second layer cover over it. So, the bivvy bag to me is almost like the last line of defense, and it keeps a bit of wind chill off you. So, it may not work. I don't know, but maybe I could do a little test. I'll take it out with a watering can, hang it up, give it a soak down, see what it's like on the inside, and I'll let you know, mate. But yeah, I've never had any problems with it, and I've just I use Fab Seal Gold on all my stuff, backpacks a lot. Just take it out for a bit of a Fab Seal session one day and set it all out and just spend the rest of the day in the sun.
A quick Google search. I'm on aquapack.net. Says that depending on whether it's worn next to the skin or has a wicking layer, or if it's non-wicking or multiple layers, then yeah, you can basically wash them with a sort of a re-waterproofing wash.
Yeah, it's that Knit Wax, I think it's called.
Yeah, so they've got Knit Wax TX Direct for non-wicking or multiple layers, or spray on TX Direct from Knit Wax.
Yep, so I've got 2 of them for treating my stuff. And if I do wash my Gore-Tex jacket, I've got the bits there for re-waterproofing, if you like.
Rage says Pentagon make trousers that you can put external. I think might be catching up a little bit from YouTube. Pentagon make trousers that you can put external knee pads in, then have the elastic pull cords in the pockets to pull the knee pads up and keep them in place. Works very well. Yeah,
nice, mate. Defo.
Fresh Meat says Knit Wax doesn't last long.
Oh, right.
So
thanks, Wayne.
Dimitri, I'll put a link to that Knit Wax stuff on Facebook for you afterwards.
I think I've got 2 varying bottles of it off Amazon. I think they do sell it now. I've got mine on Amazon. I think it's about 13 quid, 14 quid perhaps for the two types. I mean, there's like a green lid and a red lid, which do different things. One's a clean and a detergent, and the other one's the re-waterproofing agent or something like that. You get 2 bottles, there's like a set. That's what you're looking for if you're going to do it.
Yeah. No, cool. I mean, yeah, I'd say it's the reason I asked about the different camouflage of the ponchos and stuff. I know when James Mins and myself were on a little sort of recon patrol, he just pulled out a poncho that I think he had in Fleck on, and we literally sort of hid under that.
Pattern. Worked so well
because we were middle of the forest. We were all dressed in I think we were dressed in MTP at the time. So it's just really good, alternative, shelter pattern. Well,
definitely. If you're not wearing it, if you're going to make a hide out of it, then yeah, absolutely. I can't see what the problem is of using any sort of camo pattern to make a hide, because you're essentially trying to hide. Do you know what I mean? If you're cutting about wearing dark woodland camouflage, when you're supposed to be an MTP, because you only waterproof, you've got dark woodland, then yeah, I can sort of see that being an issue. But if you've actually strung it up to make some sort of low level hide or sort of LUP or anything like that, then yeah, I can't see that being a problem whatsoever, because you're essentially just using it as a roof cover, aren't you? Top cover, if you like. So yeah, I wouldn't have a problem with
that. Rage makes a good point about Gore-Tex jackets can be a bit warm. I mean, that's something I find with any rain, is the fact that I've been wearing my Edge tactical glasses for a while now, and with any rain that you get, immediately you start noticing the temperature change. It becomes a lot more muggy. So it's something to bear in mind, is layering and sort of. I think when I first used to play, I just had a really thick raincoat, and I was like, "Oh, it's raining." Just put the massive coat on and run around, and then immediately sweat my bollocks off for 2 hours.
Yeah, that's the trouble. That's what you got to weigh up. I mean, I've got the same problem at work at the minute. Like for last night, for example, it was torrential. So you put your Gore-Tex on over the top. You then got to walk 1,600, 1,700 meters down a track to whatever location it is you're working at, and then walk back again with all your kit. And by the time granted, it's repelling the water on the outside, but slowly but surely you're building up the sweat on the inside. So there's going to come to that point where the sweat inside your clothing is going to meet with the wet from outside, and it's just going to be, you need to weigh it up really. What do I want to get wet from sweating, or wet from putting a waterproof jacket on but then still sweating? It's one of them, isn't it? Plus, when you add airsoft into the mix with plate carriers and bits and bobs like that, I mean, that's why essentially I'll just chuck a big Gore-Tex, oversized Gore-Tex jacket on, leave the zip probably 3/4 of the way undone, just so I can get to my rig, let the heat escape still, things like that. Even the ones that have got the zips under the pits, they're well handy. They are. They're a good bit of kit, just to let that bit of heat escape. But sort of essentially, I mean, the main one, obviously, it's the head and the tops of the shoulders. If you can keep the water getting off of that, you know what I mean, you're sort of halfway there then by sort of repelling the water away from you. So that's why I'd sort of go for the jacket sort of size, the bigger jacket, lets it hang down a bit. I mean, let's be honest, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to be cutting about ultra fast, engaging a massive firefight when it's absolutely blistering it down with rain. If you are, it's bad luck. I mean, because let's be honest, a lot of people go to ground. If there's a massive downpour coming in, everyone seeks cover wherever you are. Do you know what I mean? I'm not necessarily saying, you're going to go back to the safe zone and get under a shelter or anything like that, but you'll try and go to ground. You'll get inside a building, and it's sort of like a bit of a gentleman's agreement. It's raining, chaps. Come on. It's time for tea.
However, a really good time to get super sneaky if you want to at that point.
You could be super sneaky. Absolutely, you could do. But yes, not very gentlemanly.
Yeah. I think Dale's just shared, this is obviously visible for the people on Facebook, a little, I think it's a DPM umbrella hat. So.
Nice, yeah. Like I want to see that when I next see you, Dale. I expect you to have one, mate. Don't be throwing links in here and you've not got the stuff to back it up with, mate.
The problem is, it's a DPM umbrella hat. It's pretty cool. Talking of hats, that's again a natural segue. Quite a nice little opportunity there. So what I generally tend to run if it's raining is this boonie, which is, I think I just got this off Military First, but it's relatively waterproof. I try and keep this re-waterproofed when I can. And again, it's got little vent holes in the side. You don't tend to get too much water through those, but it kind of just lets a little bit of heat out. And it's just nice because obviously the boonie, you kind of get a little bit of cover either side of your head. You can sort of fold the sides down a little bit and stuff, and it just keeps your head dry.
And also obviously if you've got comms in your ears or anything like that, it does tend to keep that water from getting onto your comms if they're not as waterproof as you'd hope they'd be. There's always that added bit of protection there, isn't there, for any electricals and things like that. And that's the other thing, isn't it? It's just keeping electricals in dry.
We'll come on to that. Because that's a whole. I've been researching that all afternoon. Well, not all afternoon, in case anyone from work's listening, but researching.
I did do some work today. Actually, honest, Gav, I did.
Nick says Australian wax bush hats are 100% good.
Yeah, fair play.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of hats and stuff like that, it's just something to try and keep your head dry. It doesn't really matter too much. It's just, again, I think it's that morale thing. If you're standing around in the rain and you've literally got it blowing into your face and it's, a bit cold.
Yeah.
It's just,
I mean, it is shit, but, there is an element of you've got to suck it up a bit. And that's great. But, I mean, for me, I don't really fuss about it as long as all my stuff, as long as I don't like screw. I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of us, we've got to use paper pyro, things like that, trying to keep all that sort of stuff dry. You can go down the road at stuff sacks and things like that. I mean, I use a lot of stuff sacks in all my kit. I mean, even here, look, for example, like my jet boil, that's all contained in there. That's a fully, I can chuck that in a lake or whatnot. It's a X-Ped dry bag. It's a green, of course, so you're not going to see it on the screen. Oh, there you go. You can see it now. But that's got all my jet boil, little brew kit and that in there. And that can just go into a utility pouch on my webbing, front of my Bergen or wherever. And I know all my bits and bobs are in that. And it's nice and dry. It's going to keep the gas cylinder dry. Little regulator, little screw on bits at the top. All nice and dry for when I need to use it. So, yeah, spare lighter in there as well in case the old igniter goes. Yeah, little dry bags, little bits and bobs like that, just to help you out. Even the little plastic click shut pelly, you can get like little miniature, like tobacco size ones for batteries and bits and bobs like that.
The sandwich boxes, aren't they? Like
anything like that. Yeah, anything. Yeah. I mean, Christ. I mean, what have I got here? It's a perfect example of. I mean, if you haven't got stuff sacks, or if your budget don't stretch to stuff sacks, get yourself a dozen heavy duty rubble sacks. I mean, they're perfectly serviceable for the weekend you need them for. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. Bang a bit of dry kit in there, just get the air out of it, roll the top over, bit of tape or something like that. Even just rolling the top over. By the time it's in your Bergen, there's nothing's going to happen to it. Do you know what I mean? And that's going to at least you're safe in the knowledge. In it's all right. When we get back, I've got a bit of dry kit I can jump into till we go back out, and then just change it back out again. It's important to keep, especially the socks and stuff like that. A bare minimum socks and a dry top.
Yeah. Rage says the length of a waterproof jacket is important as if it's too short, the water will run off onto your upper legs and groin and make you very uncomfortable very quickly.
Exactly. Yeah. Luckily for me, my legs are only 9 inches long, so any jacket is long on me.
It's not your leg you're measuring, Lance. One thing I did actually see brother David use quite effectively again when we were at
Brother David. I love that.
Brother David. He
at the monastery.
No one knows who that is. Brother David. He actually put his Gore-Tex or like waterproof jacket on under his soft shell. Soft shell. Yeah. Could have called it hard shell. It wasn't a hard shell. It was soft shell.
Okay.
But he was using that because we were obviously pushing through brambles and quite a lot of foliage and stuff like that, and he was a little bit conscious of obviously not snagging it. And that soft shell, provides a little bit of that comfort. His soft shell was already drenched at that point. And by putting that waterproof layer on underneath with his U-back or whatever under that, I think that worked quite well. But I don't know how he works like temperature-wise, because I can imagine that was pretty warm.
Yeah, my soft shell has actually got like a slight fleece. I mean, that soft shell I've got, I've treated that. And it's got the zippers under the armpits and that for letting heat escape. But it has got like a fleece internal part to it. Don't get me wrong, great in the autumn months and then into the winter and things like that. Great jacket, because literally I've taken the dog over Ashdown Forest for a good old yomp, and all I've had is underneath is a long sleeve t-shirt, that jacket over the top, absolutely blinding. Tiny little bit of sweating, but obviously I think that's just me being unfit and stomping up and down hills with big bag on my back. So I'm not going to put that down to the jacket, but yeah, so a little bit of sweat on the internal side from my point of view, but nothing to worry about, nothing to make you feel uncomfortable. And within sort of 5-10 minutes, you sort of dried off again. So that was a good bit of. I'm trying to think where I got it from now. I think it was only about £60 that jacket. I'll have to look it up. And there's a picture on our Nofo actually of me testing it out over the forest with a new backpack on. But yeah, that worked well for me. But I think I'd struggle with it in the summer months if it was a chance of a forecast of rain now, for example. And I had that jacket, I reckon I'd probably sweat my nuts off with that on for a long period of time. And the trouble is with it is because it's a smaller fitting jacket, I'd have to wear it under my plate carrier or under my webbing. So my webbing and plate carrier is going to be exposed then, which is not really what I want to do. I'd sooner have it just with a massive, like I said, going back to the big old donkey jacket, just chuck it on for 20 minutes, half hour, whatever the downpour is, be able to whip it off, roll it up, chuck it in your day sack, in a stuff sack or something, so it doesn't stop everything else getting wet. And all your rig's still dry then, which is a bit of a bonus.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point you made about temperature. Like, plan. Don't just plan for it raining. Plan for it raining if it's summer or winter, because that's going to make a massive difference between what you wear underneath it, and it's going to make a massive difference as to the temperature of the rain as well.
Cold and bold to start with, and then just add them layers when you need to. Because I think you're going to be going out, you'll be cutting about, you'd have a plate carrier on or a set of webbing. A long sleeve combat shirt or U-back should be more sufficient for a majority of the time of year over here. Do you know what I mean? And then obviously you get to it's 18, 19 degrees during the day, cloudy, muggy, and then they chuck rain into the mix. You've got to chuck waterproofs on. That's going to be a horrible way to spend your day being already, feel proper uncomfortable at that point. If it was like 18, 19 degrees, muggy, cloudy, and there's no chance of rain at the minute, but then it does start. That's just like, oh, for fuck's sake. You might as well just go and sit down for a minute because this is going to be horrid. Like you say, all steaming up, goggles steaming up, this is happening, that's happening. It's just bleh. Rank.
Let's just dive into the chat for a little bit just before we move on to the next bit. So Terry says, I used to put my Gore-Tex under my smock as it saves empty in my pockets and reduce the noise. That's a good shout. Yeah, I guess the noise aspect as well.
Yeah, good shout,
man. You get that kind of
And how did that, Terry, how did you find that, mate? Obviously, because you're obviously real steel and all that business. How did you find that with like the heat escaping or being too heat or being too heat?
Being too heat or being
Oh, mate. Said I've had a week off. Being too hot and obviously controlling that core temperature, if you like, your body heat escaping, things like that, getting too sweaty. How did you find that, Terry, with the obviously like you've got the Gore-Tex? I'm guessing you've got a t-shirt and then a Gore-Tex and then your schmock over the top. I'll be interested to hear how you sort of found that cutting about, doing what you was doing. Don't have to do it now, you can do it later on if you want, plenty of time.
Rage says soft shells are underrated. A good one though, not keeping you completely dry, but the stuffing keeps you warm even when wet. Yeah,
that's a fair one, mate.
I mean, it does make a massive difference just having that little spare layer of clothing you can just put on that's dry.
100%, mate. 100%. Yeah, especially like Rage said as well about as soon as your groin gets wet, the combat trousers get wet around that area, and then you get there's a element of risk for chub rub.
It's like wearing dental floss.
Yeah, this is it though, and this is it. So you got to prepare yourself for it, and obviously and have the kit there prepped, ready to go to deal with things like that.
Do you remember Longmore when we were NATO out of the SF base, and it was pissing it down, and we kept coming back, not stop. And we kept changing into dry clothes, and we were just rapidly running out of dry kit.
Mate, yeah.
Sort of
well, I was just going. I mean, like I said, because we had that a lot of downtime, I was coming back, getting my strides off, trying to dry them in front of that highly legal gas fire. As best as we could, boots off, socks changed, feet dried, blah blah blah. cutting about in your pants for a little bit whilst you're in the DOS house, and then essentially getting back into your wet kit and just keeping your dry stuff for when you're just getting your head down for the 2 or 3 hours that we got our heads down for. So it's all about that wet and dry drills. I mean, again, if you can, when it comes to events and that, depending on where your vehicle is and that, you can keep some extra sets of dry clothes in there. I mean, how far you want to go down that road, I mean, depending on how many times you come back in and go back out, I mean, you could 4 or 5 pairs of trousers you could potentially store in your car if you needed them. But I mean, obviously at the same time, if you are want to try and sort of MilSim it with the whole wet and dry drills, you know, you get your empty dry sack there, your wet gear goes inside it, you put your dry stuff on in your DOS bag. When you're going back out in patrol, dry stuff comes off, wet gear goes on, turn the dry bag inside out so it's dry on the inside still, blah blah blah, and all that business. And that's how you do it. Feels horrid to put wet stuff back on when you've been nice and warm in your bag, but there we go. Love a Norgie, mate. Yeah, all over that. Cheap as chips they are on eBay. If you've not got one, just get one. It was winter, just a Henny Hansen long sleeve top. If it was cold, a Norgie. Yeah.
This is going back, you were asking Terry about temperature.
Yeah. Fair one, mate.
Yeah. Nick says Buffalo shirt is good for keeping you warm when you're wet.
Buffalo shirt. That's like I think that's the new. I think that's the replacement to the softy. I think that's the new. That's like only a half zip sort of over the top jumper. I think that's the new British Army issues. Is a Buffalo shirt, I think, which has replaced like the softy jacket, which is like desert tan and green. It's like reversible one, which is what I've got there. I did a little repair on that today, actually. A bit of sniper tape. Had a hole up here. So let's fix that. Lovely bit of tailoring.
Apologies, mate. I'm assuming that your name's Dimitri. I've been calling you Dimitri, so I apologise if it's not. I'll take some spare trousers at list after people felt in trenches at Apocalypse.
Yeah, I mean, again, mate. At least I'd say at least one spare pair of bottoms. Yeah, and obviously a couple of 2 or 3 spare pairs of socks. And obviously the means to get your feet dry and powdered. And I mean, we are going to end up stumbling onto sealskin socks, aren't we? I can feel it coming. But
no, we're going to move on.
Out of reach. So, look up Dimitri. Look up sealskin socks for your feet, mate.
Episode 3, all about feet.
All about feet.
So obviously we're talking about clothes. Kind of loosely touched on kit storage and stuff, kind of keeping stuff dry when it's in the Bergen. Obviously the shelter, having a shelter when you're out in the middle of the forest and it's pissing it down with rain. The shelter is a very, very important thing to keep you dry. And
not only that, it's location as well.
That's what I was just going to say. The main thing, don't fucking put it on a hill that then it starts raining and all the rain comes straight through because it would just wash over everything that you've got on the ground. It's all going to get wet. So you can dig a little trench. That works well. I've done that before.
Yeah, a little shell scrape or something like that. Obviously, try not to any natural sort of dells or sort of low-lying valleys or anything that could potentially naturally fill up on their own. You know, try and steer clear of them. A little bit of higher ground, maybe, if you can. But then if you're trying to sort of stay unseen, unfortunately, sometimes, you know, that won't be possible. I think in them certain cases, that's why hammocks, I think, are a blessed relief. When it's I
was just going to say, actually, if anyone is using a hammock, I highly recommend looking at drip lines. So it's basically, I'll just bring up a quick picture. 26. So drip lines are basically a little bit of string or something like that. It just hangs down before your hammock from the tree. And the reason for that is that rain will come if the tree's on. What have I done? 26. Here we go. So if you've got the tree there, rain. Oh, for goodness sake, go away. Rain will come down the tree, run down your hammock line. And then if you haven't got any drip lines or anything like that, it would just run straight down onto the bottom of your hammock, which is the lowest point.
Yeah, it'll just track around the carabiner.
That is going to be a horrible night's sleep. So, I mean, drip lines can be a little bit of string. You know, there's one there with a little bottle top on it. It can be a little bit of paracord. I mean, you can get with carabiners. You can get, there you go. That's quite another good one. So the carabiner as well, it doesn't. So it's always good to try and have a carabiner connecting those two cords together as well, because the carabiner doesn't obviously transfer moisture in itself. Paracord's a nightmare, because obviously if water gets into the paracord, it would travel through the paracord. It doesn't just run on the outside surface.
Exactly right, mate.
So yeah, drip lines, very important with hammocks.
100% important. Yeah, good shout, mate. Good shout on that one.
So, Mike, you pronounce my name much better than some others.
Oh, there we go then.
Demetrius going to be setting up a We Like Mike Facebook group, just so you know.
We like
Mike Brewer, might be thinking too much, but don't forget when it's wet and cold to keep an eye on your oppos. Hypothermia is not fun, trust me.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. That's a great point. You know, that's a great point. Keeping people dry and looking out for the signs, you know what I mean? You know, drowsiness, this, that, and the other, lethargic. But I think it's quite similar to dehydration, isn't it? The sort of telltale signs. Someone sort of going down with it, you know, getting cold, a bit like not wanting to get involved. Nothing like hot brew and that won't sort out. Get some dry kit on them. That's probably the main thing. But yeah, like we said with the shelters, you know, location, where feasible. You know what I mean? Sometimes you're going to be allotted an area and you just have to make the best of it. I mean, like our fob that we had to set up at Imperium for Black Rock 2, it was essentially overgrown. We arrived on the Friday night. A couple of nice event staff, I believe from the Imperium site, and a couple of guys from SEO came down with some battery power streamers. Within sort of 5 minutes, we had a massive big area cleared within this little swamp area to put the fob to pitch tents up and sort ourselves out. It was great. Fantastic. Granted, we were in a lot of standing water, so there were loads of midges about. But you know, we had a little fire going, bit of smoke, plenty of repellent. No worries at all. Absolutely no.
You got your little bug net out.
Do you know what I didn't? Because I took. Well, it was the first outing for the Dutch Army tent, for the old one-man army tent. So I took that, and it was fantastic. And I was amazed at the kit that I could get in there. And once again, me being me, didn't get one fucking picture of it. I don't think. When I should have done. But I got my full sleep system in there on the floor, inflatable mat, so a self-inflating mat, my bivy bag, my DOS bag, and a little pillow. I had my Bergen behind my head. I had 3 weapons and the gun bags down my left side, and I had my belt kit and a couple of ammo cans right at the far end, all contained within the tent, and obviously room for me to maneuver as well. And then obviously outside of it, because we could, I just had my black trunk with storage crate with and cooking gas and bits and bobs, things I didn't want to keep inside the tent with me. You know, I kept them outside in the crate with some spare bits and bobs, and it was absolutely perfect, wicked, and it was dark. Oh my god, keeps the sun out, but it does get a bit warm in there. You know what I mean? I'll be careful with the old summer months using it.
If anything, I was too warm, too comfortable.
But I was pleasantly surprised, mate. And it's so easy to put up. Do you know what I mean? You know, peg out the 4 corners, pole each side, bosh, couple of guy lines, tighten them all up, work your way around, making sure it's nice and taut. And it's just wicked. Yeah, really happy with it. 35 quid. I was like, come on. Yes. Bargain of the century.
Rage makes a good point.
So good was it. In fact, I ordered another one, but don't tell anybody.
I bought it for you. Rage says if the weather's really wet, always take an extra top. Yeah, exactly. Especially if you're in a tent, set the tarp up just above the tent, as even the best tents will leak at the seams if it's pissing down. Yeah, I mean those Dutch Army ones, I know they got a sort of a bad rap, don't they? Sometimes for leaking.
I think it's where people have. I think we've spoken about this before, Mike, and I think it's where people have bought them thinking that they're going to be magic, and they probably haven't been waterproof since like 1993. So they've taken them out in the worst conditions possible, set them up, sat in there, and gone, "Well, this is shit. This is leaking like a sieve." And it's like, well, you probably because it's not been water treated in about 30 years, mate. So there's, you know, if you do get a canvas tent at that age, you know, whether it's a Polish Lavu tent or a Dutch Army tent or anything like that, you've got to treat them. You've got to treat them. You know what I mean? Fab Seal Gold, seal tape, or the seal gel that you can rub down. You know, like the old Kiwi boot polish brushes. It's got like the sponge on the end of it. It's basically got like a seal, a tent seal applicator. And you can literally just rub that all the way along the seams of the tent. And that applies a waterproofing layer to the seam, and then obviously the Fab Seal Gold for the main panels in like a 2 litre like pressurized spray bottle, which is what I've done that vid on. And that was we had rain all through the Saturday night. We had rain into the early hours of Sunday morning. Dry as a bone inside that tent. No dramas whatsoever. Yeah, it was all good. So no complaints from me on that one. But it's important. You just got to treat your kit. If it's waterproof, it's only going to be waterproof for so long. Yeah. I mean, unless it's hard plastics or neoprene or something like that, you know, it's gonna if it's a porous material like a Gore-Tex or a canvas, there's going to come a time when you do need to treat these bits of kit, and I tend to do it sort of once a year, you know, leading up to the beginning of summer when you've got nice warm days. You can take it out, set it all up, give it a good spray, leave it out there in the warm to dry out properly. Then you're laughing. Then you know what I mean. You it's good. It's good maintenance. It's good upkeep for your kit. And don't put stuff away wet either. Make sure it's dry, because it'll just fuck it. It just
which is
rots.
To be fair, it is to be fair. If you know in the winter months and stuff, if you've been out and about, wet tent, you get back, you live in a flat or it's raining outside. You know you don't have access to a garden. It is quite hard. You know,
I get that. Totally get that. I mean, you know, I've done it before. Is like you said, winter months. There, I've slung the basher over the shower door, just opened it into the bath, left it hanging up in there overnight. You know, might be a touch damp the next morning, but there's nothing that sticking out the front of the house for sort of 15-20 minutes won't sort out. Do you know what I mean? It's a little bit of kit maintenance. It goes a long way. Yeah.
Well, the one other point before we actually go on to kit maintenance, because that's another nice little natural segue. Please, if you're going to buy a hammock, try and buy an appropriate sized basher.
Yes.
I've seen a fair few people now that are relatively new at putting hammocks up, that they haven't bought an appropriate sized basher, and they try and put it in like the diamond shape. It doesn't quite cover end to end, and you get driving rain, and it just, you get moisture in there, and then that's going to ruin your night's sleep. You get wet sleeping bag, wet hammock, and it just makes it miserable. So, yeah, try and buy an appropriate size one. That being said, don't buy a massive one thinking that it's going to be a cost efficiency. I ended up buying a 4x4 meter D&D tarp, or DD tarp, whatever they're called. And that had enough room for me, my hammock, and about 4 other people. Which was actually worked out to be quite a positive thing, because we didn't have a lot of team space. I know you took your team basher, didn't you?
That's it, mate. Yeah, but I set mine up like a high pitched A-frame sort of arrangement for people to just sling gear under and out. I mean, we had it at the last Octo event. I'll probably bring it for this one as well, because like I say, it's very easy to put up, and it's a little shady spot or a dry spot for people to chuck some kit if they can't quite fit it under their tarps or their shelter systems, whatever they've got. Frees up a bit of room for them. So,
as Ray said, DD tarps so have loads of sizes. I'm not sure what the biggest is, but yeah, just try and buy something that's appropriate. I mean, they fold down relatively small as well, so not too much problem there. But kit maintenance. So, guns, obviously. Airsoft. I'm going to use guns just because it makes it easier for me to say. Airsoft guns are obviously, a lot of them are electric. Now, electrics obviously don't necessarily mix with a lot of water. They do actually mix with it quite well, and I think that's part of the problem. So I've done a little bit of research this afternoon on how you can sort of protect your rifles and bits and pieces, and I've been looking into waterproofing spray, like electrics waterproofing spray. Have you come across that before? So it's basically
like a silicone film type thing.
Not sure, to be honest with you. I think so. I didn't go that far with my research. I'll be honest with you, it wasn't.
Right.
I saw that it's a thing that you can buy online. But basically, MOSFETs are particularly prone to moisture. Now, whilst the battery, the connection terminals and stuff like that aren't going to be probably having too much of a problem, it does depend on where you store your battery and how well your electrics sit. So, for example, in a kind of classic G&G combat machine, CM16, whatever, a lot of the batteries and everything like the MOSFET and everything like that sits in the stock, and it's fairly well protected in there. It's fairly kind of enclosed space. However, as it turns out, my S&T M249, the battery is very exposed to the water, to the elements, and that rain can come in the sides. So I'm going to be looking at getting a little bit of Sugru to kind of make a little protective layer, I guess, on that, to just kind of extend the case a little bit. So yeah, electric waterproofing spray is apparently a thing. But the other thing as well is that if you are going to be going out in the rain, I highly recommend taking an unjamming rod. I don't know if you've ever had a jam, Lance, when it's...
Do you know what, mate? I haven't, no. I mean, obviously, the only time I've ever used my unjamming rod is just for cleaning the inner barrel out with a bit of gauze or something like that through there, and just giving it a twist out, a little bit of spray in there, just to give it a nice clean. But yeah, I've never, touch wood, I've never had a jam, if you like, in the field, under fire.
So, the reason this came about, the horror story that I read was that the person was using bio BBs. Now, as I understand it, bio BBs are potentially a little bit more prone to swelling from moisture than sort of the non-bio version. And that when they'd been running around all day, I think it was a MilSim event he was at, He'd been running around all day. Obviously, they weren't firing lots of shots through that kind of initial stage of the event. Went to fire the shot, and the BB just jammed in the barrel because I think it swelled up.
So I find I think, if it's swollen up in that quick amount of time, and I can't see him reacting.
Well, this is the thing. I don't know how old the BBs were before he put me in the rifle.
Yeah. I think that's where I think it's err on the side of caution when it comes to bios is to not stockpile them. I've used literally the last of my non-bio BBs at Imperium. I've got probably a quarter of a bottle left now, and then I just use Jeff's bio BBs now. That's all I use. There's no plug or anything there, but that's just ones I've tried, and I get on really well with them. So that's the ones I use. They're probably no different to other ones on the market. I don't know, but they're the ones I've bought and they're the ones I use. So that's it. So and I buy them just as and when I need them, and I haven't got thousands and bottles and bags of BBs at home. Week before the event, put an order in, they turn up. Bosh, they're my BBs for the event. Happy days. If I've got a few left over, I can go and do a little bit of target shooting afterwards or something like that, and then make sure I've got a nice clean new batch for the next one. I think that's probably with regard to bio BBs, and I haven't had any problems with them in the last 3 events I've used them for now. So yeah, all good there.
Sorry, I was going to. I'll come back to that in a second, Andy. So they're obviously also you can get barrel covers. So it's like a sock or something that sits over the end. Andy's just said that you can use a condom over the barrel. It stops the rain from getting down the barrel, but you can also shoot through it as well. Do you have to put like a slit or something in there? Because condoms are pretty resilient. I could just see that basically you're firing and end up just with a bag of BBs.
I mean, obviously the average AEGs are 350 FPS, but what does the I don't know what the twig and tickleberries fires at. I'd like to think less. If maybe we should do I don't know if you could bring your chronograph around, Mike. Could you chrono this for me? Sorry, what? Could you put that away?
Why have you got it out again?
Quick, chrono. Oh, it's gone.
I know, Andy says a BB will go through very easily.
Right.
I'll tell you what, I know what I'm doing this weekend.
iPro in the bedroom now. Yeah. It'll have to be actual solid glass lenses though. Mesh would be no good, would it?
Ray says we were told the condom trick in the army. I can understand it in the army because you're firing bullets.
Are you expecting? I can picture what Mike's thinking now as firing a BB and the condom just going.
Yeah.
Straight back into the rifle.
Not even that. I just, as an LMG, I can just imagine basically got this condom on the end of a gun, just filling up with BBs as they all come out.
Slowly filling.
Just end up with this like weird type BB nut sack. Mike's come up with
swinging it around.
I don't know what the speed per hour is for. I'm not sure what that equates to, but we'll go with it. Fresh Meat says my MK46 is front wired and the battery and fuse is exposed. I use a sandwich bag on it. Exactly. So any form of waterproofing. It's just worth giving it a think.
The segues in this show this evening, fabulous. So what I'd done with this, a little test the other day. I don't know if I said anything about it, but what I did with my PTT was swiped my daughter's modelling heat glue gun, hot glue gun, loosened it all up, hot glue all the seams, absolutely bob on. I don't granted it looks a bit crap because it's me doing it with my caveman paws. Hot glue. Like icing a cake. Then the other thing I did, chaps. So imagine that's obviously on your rig, hole, water, not good. So with my the male end, obviously, if you like, with the PTT arrangement, bit of heat shrink, only heated halfway along to create like a collar. So then when that goes onto the PTT, so now you've got a shroud which sits over it, which makes any water then run off rather than collecting at the top of the pin and going in. Again, it might not work, but it's an added layer of sort of risk mitigation, if you like.
It might not work at all now that it's covered in hot glue.
Oh no, it works. So that's my throat mic, which I used at the weekend. So I can guarantee my hot glueness hasn't affected the circuits or anything. But I'm obviously yet to try it in a downpour. But you never know. These things are sent to testers and all that.
Yeah, Ray says you can wrap it in PTT. Wrap a PTT, in plumber's tape when it's raining hard.
Yeah, nice. Fair play, mate.
Mike Brewer has very confidently come out that says male ejaculate apparently works at 45.06 kilometers per hour.
Does it really? I'm going to chrono.
Okay, everyone's homework for this week is to...
Who wants to lend me a chrono?
We're going to do a little NoFo survey, and next week we're all going to come back with our scores.
Yeah, I'm going to be like, we'll talk about it.
Fastest gets a free condom barrel cover for your gun.
That's it, yeah.
Extra ribbed for your...
whatever it is you might want to do with
it. Andy Bob said he also puts his batteries in a condom and then a bit of electrical tape.
Nicely done.
Cool. Andy's gun's just covered in condoms.
It's just a sex fiend, isn't he?
I've also got a condom on the foregrip. I've got a condom on the stock. I
put condoms on the end of my boots. Okay.
What? Presumably, and this is a stupid question. Presumably, you'd have to get like an unlubed.
I was just about to say that.
You have a bit of grease to them, don't they? Because otherwise, you could get that everywhere.
I mean, you're not going to go in with a courtesy spit on. Do you know what I mean? It's got to be dry.
Yeah.
You can't.
Because it's all going to get greasy in it, and then you're potentially just going to have more of a problem with your gun.
Looby and horrid. Yeah. In that environment, obviously. In other environments, it's not. It's very handy, but
it's very, very positive.
From an electrical point, from condoms and electrics, you want it to be non-lubed.
My gun kills bad guys and sperm.
Yeah. Nice.
Oh, blimey. Right. Yeah, cool. I think that's everything I was going to cover. I don't know if you've got anything else.
No, obviously, it's just the mindfulness of the wet weather chaps. What's he now? No, just an all condom. Just don't use flavoured. Just see him with his rifle. Oh, banana. Yeah, there's some nice hints and tips.
Ray says, most condoms have spermicide inside them. Can't imagine that's good for the batteries.
Spermicide. Oh, that sounds horrible.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Spermicide, I'm guessing, is a.
I'll tell you what though.
Is a chemical agent to the tadpoles, is it?
Definitely sounds like a good MilSim name, doesn't it? Operation Spermicide.
Operation Spermicide. Just be tracking down Andy with his condom rifle. There he is. Get him!
Oh, Captain Trojan.
I think we may have found a new Captain Condom. You know.
Finally.
Oh, you have to send him the hat.
Pass along the mantle.
That's it. Yeah. But no, I think, mate. Yeah, I mean, obviously, like when it comes to wet, keep yourself dry, keeping your kit dry, and if you do get wet, or it's like we've covered in that feet episode, if you do submerge your feet, being able to get them dry and have the means to sort of sort yourself out, and obviously keep an eye on your opos as well, making sure they don't go down with nothing. They're sort of the main ones, you know. Yeah. Don't go into something half cocked. If there's a great chance it's going to be raining at the weekend when you're going, or there's the slightest chance, especially in the UK, there's a good chance it's probably going to rain. So make sure that you've got some dry kit, some waterproof kit, and I get some people, you know, it's one of them. Or well, I've already got a black jacket, and I'm like, I get that, mate, but they specifically said you're wearing this colour. So unfortunately, chaps, if you've not got MTP or you've not got dark camouflage, you know, to take part in some of these events, unfortunately, you do have to have that stuff. You know, there's no really two ways about it.
With my jacket, you know, it's all right for when I need it, but it does somewhat present a bit of a hindrance. But that's why the ponchos are really cheap on that front, and it's very hard to find a poncho that doesn't fit you.
Yeah, you know? You'd struggle. Yeah, definitely. You know, they're a nice they're a nice little bit of kit which they do wrap up really small and easily pack away. And like I say, if you do string it up, if you've got a set of bungee cords on you or something, or you've jungle knotted it, stringing it up between two trees, you get 2 or 3 guys sitting underneath there quite comfortably. You know, if worst case scenario, which is always good. You know, bits and bobs like that, chaps. Yeah, just to bear in mind for the old wet kit when you're looking at stuff, and obviously your storage as well. Make sure there's no point putting stuff in a rocket pouch. You know, all your dry socks, your dry pants, your dry trousers, in the outer rocket pouch of your Bergen with no liner or anything like that, because that's just going to get fucking drenched. and think, oh yeah, it'll be all right, I've got dry kit when I get back. It's like, nah, mate, no, that's proper soak now. You know, make sure it's in a
sleeping bag, especially is the main one.
Yeah,
you know,
keeping that stuff dry.
Yeah, I've sort of not binned off. I've still got it, but I don't generally tend to use the stuff sacks for sleeping bags and stuff when it's in the Bergen, just because it's quite.
Well,
restricted.
I always pack mine in its bivvy bag.
Yeah, I've got like a Bergen liner bag.
That's it. That's what I've got.
Which for the life of me, I can never get to stay in place as much as I'd like. So I kind of just stuff the sleeping bag in that now.
That's it, mate. And that's it. That's when I put my sleeping bag in my bivvy bag, give it a good old hold it from the feet end, twist it round to get all the air out, and then just ram it straight down into the large dry pack, which is inside the Bergen, like the black liner, which has got the roll over top with the click shut, and just wedge all that down into all the corners there, and then you're laughing. Then do you know what I mean? You got a nice all that dry kit can go in there. I leave the hood of the bivvy bag open so I can put smaller dry bags with like my spare t-shirt, pants, socks. You know what I mean? Some bits and bobs like that, foot care stuff, and a towel maybe that goes inside my sleeping bag as well. And that's like the core of the bag. Then all your dry kit, then it's all in there. Any expensive bits and bobs you might have, you know what I mean, bit of thermal or your pec boxes or anything like that. You know what I mean? If there is a chance it's going to be lashing with rain, you don't need them during the day. Get them in that dry central part of your pack and sort of designate a bag for that sort of kit to go in. And that ain't going to sort of make all your other clothes minging or anything like that if you need to use it. So yeah.
Top little tip if you do get any electrics wet. My wife and I sort of keep, the little silica gel packets that you get in like shoe boxes and stuff.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, like desiccant tray type things. Yeah.
Yeah, just keep a little jar of those. Every time you get one, don't throw them away. You just whack them in a jar somewhere. Obviously away from kids and stuff. And then you can put them. You put any kind of wet electrics or something in a box with those. It's basically kind of next step up from just dry rice.
Yeah,
dry rice works really well.
Dry rice airing cupboard.
Yeah,
fingers crossed.
Right.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So just jumping in the chat. Ray says, "Put your gun in a black bag with the barrel sticking out if the rain's that bad." Yeah,
good shot. Like I say, a bit of work, mate.
Barrel aiming down though, not up.
Yeah.
Where we got up to? Terry says, "Spare sock, foot power, zinc oxide tape." I think this is an in-joke. I think I've got a rough idea, but Rage says, "Lol, Terry," and Terry says, "Yeah, we learn from experience, Rage." So
spare sock. Yeah, no, I noticed how it wasn't plural, not spare socks.
Yeah.
So this whatever Terry, the saucy git, is talking about only requires the use of one sock.
Dirty Terry
with foot powder and zinc oxide. God knows what you do with the zinc. I know what you do with zinc oxide tape, but I don't know what these two are concocting here. Oh.
Dale says, "I'm going to be looking out for those condom key rings hanging off the side of people's shooters next." Yeah. I'll tell you, that'd be a brilliant merch item, wouldn't it? No faux condoms.
Just that fox's head coming right at you.
Oh, Andy says condoms have loads of uses. Put them on your PTT barrel batteries, even in your head if it needs. The plus free from family planning. Yeah. I'm a little bit worried about Andy now. I'm not going to lie. I might have a whole different dream about Andy. No,
really?
That's weird. Oh. No. I take it back. I take it back.
No. Sounds like Mike's going to be having a posh one tonight.
Ignore that.
Yeah. Anyway, it's time to end, Nick. Good night, all. Much love.
Terry, Ray says all you need to pick for wet weather. That's
all you need to pick for wet weather.
I'm confused. One of you is going to have to explain that.
Whatever them two are discussing, I don't want to be involved in any of it. I'm too innocent for this nonsense.
Right, the last few questions and stuff coming in. Obviously, you can get in touch with us at nofochat@hotmail.com. Instagram is November_Foxtrot_nofo. Facebook is November Foxtrot Nofo. And YouTube is November Foxtrot. If anyone wants to drop us any questions, I've been practicing.
Hate Mike as well. If you want to just drop over to, where's that link, Mike?
Yeah, if you want to hate Mike, then I have been during the episode keeping track of the number of members, and it has now risen to 6. So thanks for that. No, I don't really mind. It doesn't bother me. Genuinely, in my dream, it got to like 19,000 followers or something like this. We hate Mike thing.
That's a lot of hatred there, mate.
Oh, I felt bad about it. I woke up feeling proper miserable.
Oh, bless.
Oh shit! The stream's crashed. I'm still running. I can't touch anything at the moment. It's not responding. I don't want to touch anything because it's going to close.
Oh, no. Well, on that bombshell.
This has not happened before.
On that bombshell, shall we end?
Just I can't end. I can't click a button.
Oh, I see. So we're just here then.
We are now here indefinitely until my computer decides it's going to start responding again.
Do you want me to fill for a bit for you?
No, I'm still here. We can. Yeah. Oh, this is awkward.
So does that mean love you really, Mike?
Genuinely not sure how to close the stream at this point.
Right. So how is it frozen then? I don't understand. You can tell Mike's the technical guy.
Google Chrome has whited over. Let's put it that way. So it's just got like
not
a haze,
responding. And
it says it's not responding, but apparently you can still see me and it's still running. I can still see the comments are coming in. I just
comments are coming in. Yep. That's all good.
Yeah.
Just leave it. Just put 50p in the meter or give the hamster a kick or something.
Yeah, I'll just leave it running for a sec. Rage says when it's raining hard, dry kit gets wet quickly, so foot powder and spare socks are all you really need to stay functional.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Couldn't agree more with that. I was expecting your answer to be more sexually orientated.
Yeah. Andy Bob shared the group again. Thanks, Andy.
There you go, guys. Thanks, Andy, for that. You're the best. Tosser.
I don't know how to fix this problem.
Prepping a certain tube on the interweb. Prepping a certain tube on the interweb. Prepping. What the fuck are you lot on tonight?
Lance, would you like to talk about patches ever so quickly? I'm going to turn the stream off, and I'm hoping it won't disconnect anything. But bear with me, right?
So, okay, yeah, so patches. Patches are available, gents. If you'd like to get patches, get in touch with Mike via our PayPal, which is Mike. What's our PayPal? Oh, he's gone. He's just like he's gurning now. So, yeah, we have still got many patches available, chaps. So, yes, drop us a message at the Facebook page, and we can give you the details from there of how to get patches. Yes, Mike, you need to get patches. You definitely need to get patches now after my Excel joke at my expense, you bastard. So yeah, plenty of patches available. Oh, there's two of you. That's horrendous.
Twice.
Oh, now you're back again. What happened?
Oh, blimey! Right, I'm back.
Did you fix it?
Back. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, there's still two of us in the stream, which is a bit weird.
Dimitri says, "Just don't be a pussy. It's only water." Fucking A, man. Yes. Fuck with this waterproof shit. Just get involved. Yeah. Suck it up, Buttercup.
Did you cover the patches? Just to clarify?
Briefly, vaguely, just sort of waffled a bit. Don't know what the PayPal is for it, and so I've just said just get in touch with Mike Fraser after the show.
Yeah, so our PayPal is nofochat@hotmail.com.
There you go, bosh. So, you could have left the banner up, and I'd been all right.
Oh, okay. Well, you haven't learned it yet.
No, because you do it. I can't learn it until you know it.
That's cool. I mean, we do need for those that have been with us since the start, our stream subscription is coming up again soon. So the more patches that we sell, the nicer it is on our wallets, basically.
Yes. Help me, I'm poor.
We keep buying kit, but any money that we do make over the top of the stream cost, basically, we're going to be putting into giveaways and stuff like that. So yeah, don't say it's just we're trying to make money from you, because we're not.
Mike, on the subject of giveaways, can we shed any more light on the MilSim bag? Or not yet?
We'll be doing that next week. I'm hoping to get that sorted out next week.
That,
I've been a bit lax on that. I apologise.
Okay.
So yeah,
next week then.
Cool. Right. So next week we're going to be talking about day sacks, both what you put in them and what they're made out of, what bag you choose to use, basically.
Really random.
That's what I'm going to say.
Made out. Yeah, okay. You can cover that then, Mike. I have no idea what my day sack's made out of.
We're talking day sacks basically next week. So it'll be
what you put in, what to not put in.
Yeah.
You know, when they sort of come into their own and bits and bobs like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Sort of, mission specific, EDC, stuff like that. For anyone, a bit of news actually, I meant to say, for anyone that's considering going to NAE, I think they are looking hopefully at releasing the dates for that. I think they're waiting on whether they're allowed to or not from Bojo. But if anyone is looking to go to NAE, I'm hoping to be there. So I don't know about you, Lance. I know there was some talk.
Gonna see. I need to test the waters with a certain lovely lady I know.
Bring her as well. There is camping. I think it's only like £10 just for camping.
Oh yeah, she'd love that. Yeah, she'd be fucking all over that, mate. Yeah, I'll bring her along, shall I?
I suggested it to Anna, but the whole impending baby and then obviously baby happening
the
soon.
Swift
literally
punch
next
on the
week,
end of
by the
the
way,
night.
just to clarify. There
Baby's
may not be an
next
episode
week.
next week. Yeah.
Wow,
so
that has gone stupid quick.
Please bear with us with the programming at the moment. We're obviously kind of dropping in and out and moving it about and
exactly. I'm now a fully qualified midwife, so I shall be in attendance.
We're going dark.
So I was just going to try the thermal. Oh my god! No, turn it off. Don't need that.
That's way too much detail.
Yeah.
Andy says, "Yeah, we're planning on going to an A. If you guys want to jump in, got our big team tent going this year. Yeah, come down there.
Wicked, mate,
so we're going to hopefully have a flag there, so people can find us.
We have flags.
We do have flags.
We do have flags. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah,
beautiful.
Should be good. Cool. Please no live feed from the hospital room. Yeah, I'm not allowed to do that. I did suggest it. Not of my wife necessarily, of me, but yeah, I won't be doing that. So, anywho, Ray says, do we need to start a GoFundMe page for you? No, please don't do that. It's only just the reason that we're selling patches is only that by selling patches, it's not just you guys giving money, if that makes sense. I'd rather
you sort of getting something out of it, and it also helps us to cover the stream costs.
Yeah.
To StreamYard.
Exactly. So
the patches are cool. The patches are cool. I like the patches.
Yeah.
Patches are nice.
Right. I've done the emails. We've talked about everything we were going to talk about. We've had a laugh. Should we go?
That's the main thing. As long as we've had a laugh, that's all that matters at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
We're going to have some sweets. Right, everyone, have a good week. We will be back hopefully on Wednesday. If not, we'll let you know.
Yeah. Well, it all depends on Mrs. Fraser.
Yes.
And how prompt she's going to be.
I have told her not to do it on Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah, that'd be handy if pos.
Yeah,
if pos.
Please, wife. Right, see you later, no foes. We'll talk to you later.
Good night, gents.
Bye.